In the year 2028, one Big Mac will equal $1 million. From the Gospel of John McAfee. Bro, just learn to code. The Project Freedom Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Project Freedom Podcast, episode number 49. Title, Web 3.0 begins, and what does that mean? I don't really even know 100% myself, guys. I actually just made that phrase up because we have, I said, hold on, excuse me. I said Web 3.0 begins, but the title is actually World 3.0 begins. And the reason why I called it World 3.0 is because we have kind of like the Web 3.0 thing going on right now. And so no one's ever like, oh, I don't know, maybe someone said World 3.0 before, but I've never heard anyone say it before. Okay. And it's just kind of like this thing that I'm going to use to describe what I think the upcoming few years are going to be like. And so that is what we're going to be talking about today, guys. So let me check in with you guys. Yaz, have a good show. Thank you, Yaz. You're probably asleep right now, but thank you. Alex Katzanos. Bros, time to board the spaceships. Yes. And Alex, I got your question from email. I'm going to try to answer the things that you said to talk about. And actually, we can do that right now. Let me just finish through the rest of this. Wade, Emery says number go up. Orange pill emoji in the chat. Yes, indeed. Randall J, what's up? What's up, Randall? Sam, just make web dev projects happen, bro. Yes. All right, Alex. So talk about your question because you sent me two. So, hold on a second. Let me go through my emails. You sent it yesterday, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I won't put it on the screen. Well, actually, yeah, I can put it on the screen and make it easier for you guys to see. I'm using OS X Mail app, though, so I don't think I can zoom in on this. So you guys just have to... Wait a second. I'm pretty sure I can just share a window. Let's see. Window. All right. Back in the mines. All right, here we go, boys. Here we go. All right, so Alex says in his email, I'm learning a program called High Level, and it's capital H, capital L. So like, some kind of like program called High Level, which is a ClickFunnels clone. Have you ever seen ClickFunnels? Well, okay, I'm sure if I don't know, I've never like studied that or anything or know anything about it like particular on the top of my head, but I believe I know what that is. And if it is what I think it is, then we all have seen a ClickFunnel before. Have you ever seen ClickFunnels? I'm guessing you could say it's drag and drop, WYSIWYGN web page design abilities. I don't know what you mean by WYSIWYG. Anybody know what that means? WYSIWYG. I can just Google it. Web page design abilities. So each section is changeable by sliders that appear on the sides inside the program. You mean like a carousel, dude? Like on a website? Plus, it has other components in this massive program with all kinds of if and or statement possibles to give you Zapier like possibilities. I don't know anything about Zapier either. So it does have the ability to code inside of it, but it's way over my head right now. Okay, so is this like some kind of like framework? Okay, it sounds like this is some kind of like what I didn't understand is and I guess I should have Googled this. I didn't understand that this was like a framework or something that you're using, or this is like one of those like website builder things like Wix. So let me see. Capital H level. Website Go, highlevel.com. Something to do with Golang. 1 day free trial. I can take this off the screen now. All right, back to the mines. Building the agency engine. Okay, so I guess like create amazing landing pages in minutes. Hold on, I can throw this up the stream for everybody. Create amazing landing pages in the stream for minutes. What else is here? What else? Let's see. Drag and drop survey forms. Okay, so this is kind of like a website builder, right? Okay, so I guess this is a website builder designed around like you making a website for ClickFunnels. And what I think what you mean by ClickFunnels is like a funnel that leads people to click into a certain area, which gives them information about your product or something like that. So what do I think about that? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really know a whole lot in particular about that stuff. Like, if you guys know, I haven't really done like a whole lot of marketing at all for much of my stuff, that services that I do. Although I'm going to be trying to do some more of that here about pretty much like now. But like, at least in the past, when I was like, if I've ever seen like a product and it's like, oh, like this is like an obvious ClickFunnel, and to me, it's like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't go there because it's obvious ClickFunnel, but I probably would if it was something that I was legitimately interested in, and I believe that the people that were deploying said ClickFunnel and or the company was like a good company or something like that. So like, I don't know anything about it. I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's anything you really would have to like study about it, like a hardcore in particular. But I would say like, man, I'm pretty biased about this too. I'm like super against using like website builders. Like, I'm just like super against it. I won't sit around and say like every reason why. And they definitely do have their place in website building. The reality is that a majority of people that do like web development for people, they're not really writing real organic code. They're just using, like, they're not engineers. They're just using website builders, and that's fine. Most people don't care. But first of all, this first thing is like a philosophical. I just kicked the camera. Sorry, guys. A philosophical reason. So you guys might feel this way. You might not feel this way. This is going to be personal to me. But if you're using that kind of stuff, you're like contributing to like web bloat. So, and if you guys don't know what web bloat is, you could just do a Google search on it. But that's the last thing you want to do for like ecosystem of the internet, period. Right. Second of all, because you have web bloat on your site, users are going to have they're going to experience like they're going to have not as good of a user experience per se, even though it might look like they do because of look all these bells and whistles. Ooh. For example, guys, let me actually show you. I'm sorry, guys. I know I got dragged into this question probably more than I should have, but God damn it, Alex. Get to the topic, guys. All right, I promise. Hold on. All right, guys. For example, if you guys are familiar with MailChimp software. All right. So let me show you guys my screen. Let me show you guys how crappy MailChimp is to work with. All right. So notice how long this is taking for me to log in. It's a long time, right, guys? You can imagine if you're someone that like is very, very busy and doesn't have a lot of time, like if you're trying to do something. Okay, so for example, and that was just for me to log in. All right. By the way, this user interface is like, it looks cool, and I'm actually surprised that these things are like loading fast enough because it usually takes forever to load. And I have 300 megabytes download speed. So like there's no excuse for this to be happening. It's because it's a bloated. MailChimp actually has their own like Wix version. I believe they like basically copied like Wix's code and like basically made like a Wix 2.0 or whatever. But there's all kinds of extra junk. You guys see this? Like I'm trying to load my campaigns and it's not even loading. And so basically, like I'll be finished sharing this. I'll tell you guys what I try to send a campaign email, a final email for this the time to sign up for the Art of Code over last weekend, and it took me about 45 minutes just to get to the part where I could type in that email field. And then when I got there on my computer, it was just acting up again. So what I literally got on my phone, which by the way, MailChimp on your phone, awful experience. PayPal on your phone, also awful experience. Literally got on my phone and did it like there. And so like when you're using stuff like that, that's the kind of like web bloat that your users are going to experience too. So one, I see your comment, Alex. I'll just finish my thought. So one, that's going to happen. And two, like one, you're going to contribute to just web bloat for the whole ecosystem, which is just not good. All right. Unless you just don't care. And if you don't care, that's fine, whatever. But two, your users are going to be experiencing that web bloat too. All right. And let's just say you don't care about the web bloat. All right. Let's just say like, fuck the users, fuck the, like, we don't actually have to have like a streamlined, super quick product. Let's just do it anyway. All right. The third problem is your ability to actually have control and create what you want to create using these kind of like template builders things is you're narrowed down to like a very margin things, right? So you pretty much can't do anything else other than like what Wix or any of these like template builders allow you to do. And so what if your client down the future, like, okay, so you got lucky. So you made a client a website, like a, 1 or 2 page, like just static website that doesn't do much, just displays like your client's like company's information with Wix, and you charge your client like $2,000, and you were able to do that in like 4 hours of time. Maybe more likely, if you're like a Wix wizard, you probably do that in 2 hours of time. Good, fast money, right? But let's just say later on, your client's like, all right, now I need to accept payment processing, which you can do in Wix, but it's a huge pain in the ass. And then next thing you know, they need to be able to have people log into their like as users in their website to like do some kind of like action that has like something saved in the back. I don't know. You can't. And then you're gonna have to like consult someone else, and you're gonna have to like bridge some of your templated like Wix like weird static generated code, and you're gonna have to like jack that. Like you're gonna have to give it to, if you don't know how to, if you're not an engineer, you can't code, you're gonna have to find another guy, charge him money, and then charge your client money on top of that, and your client's gonna be like, what the fuck? So it's just a giant pain and headache, and you don't really have any control. But other than that, I'm sure there's a way to accomplish that with just like, organic code. He said, sorry, I wasn't clear. I hate website building stuff like this. It gets kludgy really fast. Okay. I was talking about how APIs integrate with other apps. It seems like that's where so much is heading. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I would agree with that. I mean, data is important, right? And we use APIs to get data so fast. Otherwise, you have to pay a lot of money for it, and people you pay money for some APIs too. So, all right. And then that's all I had to say about that. So I'm glad we got that over with, Alex. And the other question was you wanted to talk about was, what did you say? Oh, that's right. I was planning on talking about this too. Be good to discuss another reason we need coders, so connected and vulnerable. Okay. The Facebook outage. Yeah. Mr. Zuck. Mr. Zuck. Yeah, I mean, okay. I have my personal beliefs as to why, like, guys, I don't know if you noticed too, like maybe you guys have or haven't in your region or area. All of us over here in Miami, we definitely have some internet issues. I believe that there's a possibility that, people could be potentially, let's just say some kind of mafia exists in the real world. This said mafia could potentially be using their supercoder powers or just like staging certain outages for certain things, entities, companies, to kind of like prevent. Let me see how I can word this, guys. Prevent information from being given to people. But I don't have my tinfoil hat on today, so Let's see. Rio Peterson, good evening. What's up, dude? Dog emojis. Patricio says, hola. Kyle W says, just be competent, bro. Does that website work yet? Guys, you guys all need to go to justbeconfidentbro.com. Probably doesn't work yet. No, DNS problem. I bought the domain justbeconfidentbro.com because it was I couldn't believe that it was like it was available. And I'm trying to route it to developerdirection.com. So it looks like I made a problem with the name server on that. But soon guys, you will all be able to just go to justbeconfidentbro.com. Your boy Cliff says, just get rich, bro. 100% just get rich, bro. Self.hustle says Chief Rug Officer. That would be a great title to have, Chief Rug Officer. I would be envious of that title. Klaus is into the chat. Oh, no. Oh, no. Bring it on says 9. Yes, 9. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. Yes. Nick's Legend says ClickFunnels is a tool for making landing pages / sales pages. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what you see is what you get. Okay, that's what you guys are saying. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Fireens 4 says, evening, gents. What up, dude? Good to see you. Finally on for time one of these. Okay. All right. I know. I'm gonna read this in an Australian accent, Patricio. I know a chick that sells websites using WordPress. Yeah. Actually, it's kind of Irish. Yeah, you can make good money off of doing that, dude. But like, it's kind of like, so like, I'm going to use this analogy, guys. So if someone out there is listening to this and you are like a WordPress builder, don't get offended, because this analogy is probably going to offend you. But I think you also know that there's some truth behind it too. But I would say that this is the only analogy I can think of that's like enough to let people understand what I'm trying to say. But it's not as like bad as this analogy. Being a WordPress web developer is kind of like being a drug dealer that sells like fake drugs. And when it's time for the customer to come back and like, hey, like those drugs are fake, you like can't do anything about it, right? And that's the only analogy I can think of. But they're not. You're like your websites you're building. They're not fake per se. Okay, so Nick's Legend says I just use text emails via Mailchimp. Yeah, exactly. If people don't want to read those things, they can just unsubscribe. So it's not like too intrusive. Excuse me. Sam Patrici says that's why you need to put your website development in the hands of actual developers, local developers you can trust, with the super coding abilities of Tropical Fruit-based software agency. Yes, absolutely. Let us see sorry, guys. My brain's all over the place today. Rio says, oh no, Project Veritas added again. They dropped the video about the M word versus the anti-BOD word. We gotta be super careful about what we talk about when we talk about that now, because they're not very happy about it. So we'll just pretend like it doesn't exist. Shh. If my dock wasn't broken, I'd play the X-Files sound clip. I'm gonna get that fixed for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna get that fixed. Guys, I have so much stuff on my plate as of late that I really don't hardly have any time to like eat or like shower. So I will get it fixed. So I will. Harry, what's up, dude? Boom baby indeed. Nonstop Dre 360 says, could you program a website like MailChimp? Yeah, I could. Couldn't do it overnight, that's for sure. But what I would do, I'm kind of been on this rustic kickback lately of like staying away from like using like overly bloated frameworks. I'm trying to be like an enthusiast, and as opposed to your average enjoyer. Actually, I'm trying to be like an enjoyer, guys. I'm not trying to be a software enthusiast. I'm trying to be an enjoyer. My solution to that will be a very like vanilla, minimalistic version of it. It doesn't have all these like weird, clunky BS things that you don't need. But yeah, you could do it. Basically, all you would have to do, it would cost a lot of money off the front end because you need to pay for a lot of storage, because you're going to allow people to like, store their clients' emails in your database, and you're going to let a lot of people do that. So you'd have to have, a lot of data, a lot of databases, a lot of servers, like a lot of tables with a lot of data in the tables. And, without being like too complex about it, you would just basically have the person log in through a portal, and then, a lot of like information will be returned based off of the user that logged in, i.e. their contacts. So it would select all contacts from the table that you want to see. I mean, maybe you could make them click a button like, hey, you want to see all my contacts list? And then you could use something like, I don't know, PHP. And if they want to send a mass email out, to just PHP mail whatever message they had to, like, all the people in the mail data table or something like that. But as far as like the MailChimp things where they have like add this cool new button, all that stuff, I would leave it up to them to do it. And I would actually like make people like write code like in like a text box to like make their own like buttons, or just like figure it out, bro. Just go and copy paste the code from somewhere else. Bring It On says, very convenient that Facebook shut down after the whistleblower interview in 60 Minutes last night. I didn't even think about that. I haven't seen it, dude. I haven't seen it. I didn't even know about it. Okay. Let me make a note here. To go look into that, dude. Let's see. Is that from Project V? ERITAS? Bring It On? Mr. Bring It On? Somebody tell me. Let's see. 60 Minutes? Like the actual 60 Minutes show? FB. Actually, I did see a title. I did see a news title about that. I didn't look into it, though. Nonstop Dre says the elites must be testing how the normies react without social media. Yeah, freaking the fuck out. Maybe, man. Who knows? You can cover the hat with tinfoil. I don't think I'm out of tinfoil, T-Man Scott. New Horizons says, crap, I'm late. Damn, notifications still don't work. Yeah, they don't like me, guys. They don't like me. Max Anita says, wrapping things up. Guys, don't forget to double wrap your willy when you're doing things. Trust me, I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor of common sense. Harry Zikos says, we'll know if I have a job in Miami soon or not. If so, I'm accelerating my plans to be down there. Harry, it's a possibility that we might have a job for you. I don't know. Don't take me at face value for it, but we could talk. I think someone already has talked to you. New Horizons says, nice, Harry. Yeah, well, where would you be applying at, Harry? Would you be applying at like a mortgage brokerage here or something? Accelerate, yes. How do you feel about Pulse Chain? I mean, I know it's got like a huge following because a lot of people from the Hex community are owned it. It's cool and all. Layer 2 solutions are really cool. I just don't see the benefit of like, and guys, this could be because of my ignorance, because I have not studied or learned anything about Pulse Chain other than like what I've seen it for at face value. So I really don't know. So if I'm wrong about this, definitely let me know in the chat below, and then I can change what my opinion was or adjust my thinking. But from what I know about Pulse Chain is it's just like a regular layer 2. And I don't see the benefit of a layer 2, like a smaller, newer layer 2, as opposed to something like Polygon Matic that literally already has people from Ethereum working with them and other protocols working with them and synthetics working with them to try to get their stuff on their protocol. So I don't know. I don't know what the benefit is about it, but I mean, there's no reason why we can't have multiple layer 2s, because we already do. We probably already have like 15, 20, 30. I don't know. By now there's probably like 50 different layer 2s. At this point, if that's the case, it's just about who does the best job, which developers have the best team, or which developers don't get rugged by, those guys up there. Nick Sledging says, in my opinion, WordPress is great for static sites, blog sites, pages. Doing custom dev work is a bigger long-term investment commitment. Can hiring Meta help with WordPress? Yeah, for sure. The only thing I'd say about though, Nick, is like if you have done a lot of like fast static websites, like basically like what you could do is you could just create like multiple different templates, like skeleton architecture, like HTML templates for like a website that you could do yourself, copy and paste, change some things out if someone wants something different, and like you could probably actually do it faster than doing WordPress. At least I could do that faster than I could do things in WordPress, but I also don't know how to do WordPress very well at all, other than just fix other people's WordPresses when they ask me for help. Epic says, Max, Nitas to you, Sam. They're scared. Yeah, they are, dude. They're scared, man. They 100% are scared. Look, Glass Cannon, and the Emperor has no clothes. That's all I have to say about that. Skurd. Perfect. Is PHP really still used these days? Yeah, actually it is. Fido, what percent of the internet, 40% of the whole entire internet, as of like statistics we looked up yesterday, uses PHP. Now, a lot of that's like legacy code. So I mean, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like new great things are being built on PHP. But it's a big utility language, and that means there's just so much of the internet built using PHP that there's people constantly having to fix it. And so knowing PHP is like a really good thing. I found out yesterday too that like I believe it's over like 70% of banks use COBOL software for all these banks are like, they have legacy systems, obviously garbage, and they use COBOL for a lot of their software, which is, I find like absurd. But yeah, 60 minutes Australia. I went and worked on my car during the outage. Nice, good thing to do, man. Very smart of you. My Telegram wasn't working either. I had a few things not working. Felt isolated AF. Okay, that's actually, we're going to talk about that today. It's part of the topic. I know I'm already 25 minutes in here, guys. Let me hurry up and speed through these comments. Get down here to Miami here. Yes, software as a service, real estate tech would be, so real estate broker in USC in South Florida. Perfect. Pulse is supposed to be faster, cheaper version of ETH from what I know. That's what Polygon Matic is. What is PHP? Google it, Patricio. Google it. COBOL. Yeah. Is the world 3.0. All right. So thank you, Dre, for saying a comment that I can end this and transition into. Is world 3.0 after we own nothing and be happy about the money printer can't go burr no more? Yes, for some people. But it's your choice as to whether or not it's going to be you or not, okay? Entirely up to you. All right, guys. So let's dig into it, okay? So guys, it's crazy, and I know the guys in developer direction every webinar. I keep showing you guys proof of this, and other people in the webinar are showing you guys proof of this too. I know Tom Gandalf, the Gandalf of the group. He was like, I didn't believe you, dude, but he went and looked. And he was like, holy smokes, I can't even open my LinkedIn right now, guys. And let's just say from like personal experiences, like let's just say you were a relatively good skilled dev at something that a place specifically has code in that probably only you can do. It's kind of like you could even try to quit your job and they wouldn't let you quit. They're just like, oh no, just stay on the paper, just stay around as long as you do something once a year, don't worry about taking time off or anything. No need for that. A lot of places are hiring, guys. A lot of places are hiring, and they're trying to hire, especially with tech, especially with IT. It's fucking insane. Salaries have gone para-fucking-bolic, okay? And we're going to talk about this, okay? Unemployment numbers are insanely high right now, okay, guys? Insanely high. And that's what the statistics and the metrics that, the U.S. government and the Fed, literally the Fed, because they're part of the Fed's job is to keep unemployment low. That's literally part of their job, which they don't do. So that's if you believe their numbers. If me being a person of using intuition, I would be like, the numbers are probably a little bit high, little bit higher than that, considering that you can literally do math and prove that they're lying and the numbers are wrong about other things. But that's a different discussion for a different day. Although that discussion might that could bleed over in today too. I don't know. Meh. So there's a worker shortage everywhere, guys. I'm seeing it. I'm experiencing it. I do believe that part of the reason that my air conditioning took 4 weeks to get fixed when it should usually take 1 day in this city is because there's a worker shortage. But our good friend Sam saying yes. Sam saying yes had to take his car in early last week. What day did you take it in? Wednesday. Okay. And Sam saying yes had a check engine light. And it turns out that his intake manifold just needed to be replaced. All right. So if you guys don't know anything about an intake manifold on a car, it's literally just like a metal piece. It's actually the part that the air intake is attached to before the air goes in the motor. Okay. So it's usually like this big, kind of round. It has a flap in it that opens and closes for when you open, you put your foot on the gas and accelerate or decelerate. And it's fairly easy to actually install. All you have to do is do like 2 screws, sometimes 4 screws, 4 screws, sometimes 2, but usually 4. And there's a sensor, all right? There's an O2 sensor, an oxygen sensor that plugs in. It's literally just like a clip. It's like, flip, you pull it out, okay? They sent it in there, and they haven't been able to do it because they don't have any guys to work on it, okay? One guy And also, I think that they probably haven't even gotten the part yet, dude. That might be part of it too, because no one's working in. Yeah. So that's just one thing. You guys, if you start paying attention, you're gonna see this stuff happening a lot. It's almost as if nobody's competent, or I don't know, a bunch of people might just be dropping dead. But at the same time, basically, no one's working, right? Everyone's trying to hire people. No one can work. Okay. So worker shortage everywhere. You guys are going to see it when you go to restaurants and stuff. Where's a worker shortage, and everywhere. I'm sure. I probably don't have to over exaggerate it to let you guys get the point. I'm sure you get Cheeseburger Baby. We went to Cheeseburger Baby. It's a place on Collins of the South Beach. They had a sign that was like, "Hey, don't treat us like shit. We're overworked because we don't have anyone who works here." And I was like, "Hey, these people are cool. Let's tip them. Let's give them a good tip." Point is, if you guys pay attention, you're probably going to notice that everywhere, right? And let's just say that I have some personal things that I've seen as well and dealt with that it's just like people are quitting their jobs, right? At the same time, like I was saying earlier, everyone is hiring right now. It seems like almost everyone is hiring and no one's working. It's really weird, right? It's kind of like I would consider that to be kind of like, all right, so you have a fuck ton of drug dealers on the street. I don't know why I keep using a drug reference or a drug dealer reference, but it's just something I can think of top of my head. You have a bunch of drug dealers roaming around the street, and they're all trying to sell cocaine. And at the same time, you have a bunch of cocaine addicts all roaming around the street as well. Like, I need my rocks. I need my coke, bro. And they're not just exchanging with each other, right? So you got to makes you think. Okay, it makes you think, and we're gonna try to discuss that tonight because I don't know if I have the answer, guys. I think I have. I've done some inductive thinking. I've tried to piece together some ideas as to why, and I can tell you guys what I feel about tonight, and you guys can let me know. And then we're going to talk about where I think this is kind of going in World 3.0. So to answer your question, Mr. Rio, yes, this World 3.0 is going to be when nobody owns nothing and everyone will be happy, but it's going to be for only some people. Okay, probably a majority of the people are going to be those people. And if you pay attention tonight and listen, you guys will see and understand why. So I think, guys, if you think about the drug dealer analogy, or in fact, we don't have to use the drug dealer analogy, right? What do people need to survive in the world right now? Money, right? It's very hard to live when you don't have any money, or maybe you're not a kid, you don't have a support group, people are going to help you out, right? How do you pay your bills? Money. How do you procure food? Money. How do you get car, transportation? Money. How do you get clothes, shelter, warmth? Money. You can get some of that stuff from the government, right? But this has been happening. We already had all those excess benefits end already for quite some time. They've ended a while ago, 2 weeks ago. And this is still people haven't just rushed. What they were expecting was people to rush back into the doors of employment, and that hasn't really happened yet. In fact, the amount of jobs that are the amount of people that are leaving, quitting, getting fired, or whatever from jobs is raising. And still, after they've ended the unemployment benefits, extra stuff, and the rent moratorium stuff, and the number of job openings has also been raising still too. It's not. I mean, I guess it's not as significantly higher than it was before. So it's not but they are still. It's still going upwards, right? So it makes you think. And the only thing that I can think of, guys, there has to be some kind of critical flaw in either the structure of society as a whole or the economy or both. Okay. I'm probably going to assume that it's both. All right. But there's good news, guys. There's good news because as we always known throughout history, and I've talked about in the last couple of podcasts, every time something bad happens, every time there's blood in the streets, there's opportunity, right? And that's why I'm propositioning to you guys that Web 3.0 does fix this as well. Some of it. It fixes the economy part. It can fix the economy part. But the World 3.0 fixes this. Okay. My hypothesis and idea of the world, what I'm going to call World 3.0. Okay. So what else are we seeing, guys? Like, if you look at what they're doing with the printing of the money, yeah, for a while they were giving out some checks to people, all right, and people got like some fucking confetti money in their pocket, and I guess people were like slightly happy, although they just think that they were happy. They weren't actually happy. But when you print money, answer this question to yourself, guys. I'll actually tell you the answer after, but answer this question to yourself. When they print an excess of money and they inflate the currency by 40%, does that benefit the people? Is it neutral to the people, or is it harmful to the people? All right, I'll give you guys 2 seconds to think about that while I sip this nice limoncello LaCroix. I can't drink any other flavor other than that one now, guys. All right, do you have your answer, guys? Okay. My opinion on that is that if you actually know the full repercussions of doing that type of money printing, and there's a lot. I don't even know all the repercussions because this stuff goes far. All right, it goes far because the United States does not really produce much of anything of value anymore, other than software, which a lot of the software companies are not really producing much good things of value anymore either, because it goes back. You go back in a loop pattern over here. Something's wrong with the structure of society and the economy, but a lot of the problems have to do with the fact that when you increase the money supply that much, yeah, people are getting more money, but their money is getting, maybe they're getting this much more money, guys, but their money is getting devalued this much more. Okay. So it's like if you get a raise, if you get a $2,000 raise, but then your rent goes up $3,000 next year, it's not good, right? You're down, right? You're down. And the people that actually, and I don't want to spit and talk about this part for a whole lot. If you guys want to go Google Cantillon capitalism, okay, basically, excuse me, there's something called the Cantillon effect. All right, you can Google that too. But essentially, people that are closest to the money printer benefit the most. Okay. And I won't explain every reason why. I think you guys should probably starting to piece obvious connections together here now. At least hopefully you are. But the people closest to the money printer benefit the most. Okay. So if you can think about, like, let's just talk about if we're just like a video game, all right, or just like everyone's like I don't know, everyone on the planet is a 6-year-old child. All right. Everyone's walking around like, goo goo gaga. I don't know much of anything, or don't even know how to do things. It's just babies crawling around the floor in an open space. All right. Let's just say the space is a football field. Okay. And at the middle of the football field, there's a little like tube coming out the ground. That's just like money's coming out of the tube. All right. And the field's crowded. Like there's hardly any space in the field to move. So like these babies can walk like 4 inches each. All right. The babies that are the closest to that money coming out of the middle of the field, it's going to be directly in their hands and their face. They're going to be touching it, grabbing it, whatever, right? And so there's not a whole lot of movement going on, like around that money. Some of it it'll start to spread a little bit out further along later down in the timeline, right? But by the time that it's out there, there's more and more coming in the middle. So it's still, even though it's getting more outside as well, the concentration is staying in the middle. Okay. That was an analogy. Okay, guys, just an analogy to try to get you guys like what I'm trying to say about the people closest to the money printer. And I don't an analogy because I'm not actually talking about people who are physically next to the money printer. All right. Because the majority of the money printing that's being done in the US is just a digital money print. But anyway, a lot of, and it's funny. Max Anitas in the chat. I don't know if he's still in here. I'm going to catch up to y'all's comments in a second. A lot of, let's see, monday.com, the Mondays. So I've been thinking about creating a task tracking software that's not bloated and not chunky. So what I was looking at online things I can use temporarily in the meantime to kind of see like what kind of things I like about kind of stuff like that and what kind of like features I don't like and would want to exclude. Okay, so let me share a screen with you guys. This is one of them. This is Monday.com. And by the way, you guys still see at the top left hand the tab with this Chrome screen. It's still loading. Okay, because a lot of this was bloatware. All right. Actually, guys, hold on one second. This is the wrong. Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys mine. I forgot my link. All right. So I made a Monday to manage some stuff. All right. For Guava. All right. And for developer direction. All right. So this is kind of stuff here. Blah, 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 blah. All right. It's not anything great or anything at all. It's just a basic, this is just a basic software that you use to track the things you do. You guys can see some of the stuff that I'm doing right here. All right. Just like basic. You just look, if I want to add a new title there here, I can just go, okay. Blah, 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 do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. There's not really asking me to pay for anything. This is free. Although I think if you're like a business, like you can like pay extra money to get like a collaborated, dedicated section or slot of data. I don't know, something to like a large portion of people. But this is free software. This company is valued at $6 billion. Okay. The reason why is because when you have a company and they go public, they make these stonks. They have an IPO, an initial public offering. It's really just like it. Without me telling you guys 100% specifically how and why this is the case. This is the equivalent of kind of like creating money. Okay, guys. And a lot of like CEOs, you guys will see the Apple CEO was given a bonus of a bunch of extra stonks equity in Apple. He cashed out a majority of them because they can just basically create money. And it's kind of like a money that they can, it's a form of it's a vehicle for money to be somewhat liquid and semi in the past, hedgy against inflation. Hedgy. Guys, Pablo, can someone go let Pablo in? Thank you. Okay, but this company, this application right here, guys, go show it to you guys again. This web application does not produce $6 billion worth of value. Okay, all right. I promise you guys it doesn't. If you don't understand that, well, you just have to take my word on it. All right, Mondays.com. You guys can contact me if you have proof otherwise, but I know you won't because you don't. Proof otherwise, other than the fact that you guys have X amount of shares of stock created from your company that are worth $6 billion in paper, right? And maybe some schmuck will buy it. Not me. This is what I would call a zombie company. Okay. There's a fuck ton of companies out there that are like this. Right. So just know, guys, there's basically a bunch of companies that are technically worth a good amount of money on paper, but they aren't. Okay, guys, the reality is they aren't. Most of the companies nowadays, especially in the United States, are not producing anything. In the same way that bloated software has gone too far and has actually made a regression of things, companies have become so bloated in themselves that having 3 quadrillion employees named Karen from HR and Susie from HR that don't really do a lot of benefit or productive things from society. And I don't want to just take a dump on all HR people, but I mean, stop. Don't do that. I don't want to take a big dump on all HR people, but I mean, if you're at the point to where your company is so big that something that human resources would normally do can't be delegated efficiently via the people that are just there involved in the situation or other parties that are adjacent to them, then you're fucked. You're fucked up. You bloated. You bloated. You bloated. All right. And you have to pay all those people, and then that's just talking about people in HR. Right? I'm not talking about all these other things that everyone out there that these companies have overgrown themselves into these like giant centralized things of power. And so their power has gone up, but their productivity has gone down significantly. All right. So let's get caught up with the chat, and then I will continue the explanation. One of the earlier used languages for dynamic web page serving. It's old. Self.hustle says a few lines of code in PHP are an entire script in Node.js. Just saying. Yeah, exactly. Is this spray? Sam, can you hand me the spray bottle? Or you can just do that too. Yeah, thank you. Come here, Light. Come here. Yeah, exactly. PHP is, dude, guys, don't sleep on some of these vanilla like languages. All right. Don't do it. You'll regret not knowing how to do it. Let's just say a bunch of frameworks, places that make frameworks just go out of style or go out of business. You'll regret it. XCity Roland says, where would tell a beginner to start from you if I'm starting from nothing and knowing nothing about computer science, your courses? Go to justbeconfidentbro.com. I'm just kidding. Don't go to the website yet because in the future you will be able to. You go to developerdirection.com, Mr. XCity Roland. Here, I will show you what the best thing is for you. All right. All right. So, I mean, you can take whatever courses you want, dude. But like bang for your right now, Mr. XCity Roland, bang for your buck. Our 1 year pass is $1,197, right? Almost $1,200. It's incredibly cheap compared to my competitors, which are colleges, which no one's going to anymore. And no one wants to pay $200,000 a year. If they tell you your tuition's only going to cost you a total of $60,000, all right, maybe your tuition, but you will definitely not go away unscathed in 2021 without taking over $100,000 more in debt. So that's one of our competitors, and I know plenty of people who have graduated who have not gotten a degree or gotten a degree in computer science, have not gotten a job. Me, myself, I have a computer science, bachelor's degree in computer science, and I can tell you also I learned very little about what is applicable and needed in the real world. But anyway, our other competitor is boot camps, which is going to cost you like what, 15 to 30 grand. And the success rate for people there that actually know how to get money from programming is pretty low too. Although there are some, all right. But this right here, Mr. XCity Roland, what I made this for was so that people can come and dedicate a whole entire year. All right. And even if you start getting paid before the year is up, people come and still stay, and people join the network. Actually, we have plenty of people who have joined the network who are actually employed in the field already, just for the other things that you get other than just the basic 4 to 6 courses per year that we give that teach basic fundamental coding and the meta webinars and all that stuff in between. All right. There's too much benefit. I don't want to sit here and like show my thing all day long, but if this is where you wanted to start, you should do this if you can afford it. Okay. I have way too many clients right now, and I know for certain that my amount of clients is going to be going up soon. So much so that I've actually, formulated plans to have extra help and extra of these measures taking place. So the price is going to go up literally within the next 1 to 2 weeks. Not like an insane amount, but it's going to go up. So it would only make sense for you to pay for this as opposed to paying for, and you basically can go to every single course the entire year, and the meta webinars, which by the way, we have meta webinars every week, 365 days a year, minus some of the times that we take off because people definitely get tired and burnt out, because trust me, you will. But I mean, look at the price of what one course costs, like $797. Okay. You could start here if you don't have a lot of money. What you could do is web development level 1. This is just this is our last web development course that we recorded and edited and compacted in just 9 hours of Pablo. Why did you knock on the door? I'm gonna shoot you. 9 hours of footage. And so if you don't have the money, this is probably the best thing for you to do, to be honest with you. But if your plan is to go from like, hey, I don't know jack diddly squat to getting a job, this is what you want to do. It's worth the money. So developerdirection.com. Soon to be also justbeconfidentbro.com is going to be routing you guys to that website soon. Wait, we can't tell them that because they might take that one too. Shh. I don't think they heard it. We got to make sure we get that domain. Alex says when WhatsApp went down, people ran to Telegram and slowed it down to a crawl. Yeah, Telegram was going. I mean, all the internet was being boggy everywhere, man. Grammar terrible. Just got off work. Not all good. I knew what you meant, man. I knew what you meant. Yes. Phil Good says how long until normies are herded into the matrix? I don't know, dude. We're gonna we have to implement a plan to prevent that. There will be a plan to prevent that. At least to tell you this much, Phil. I will make sure that maybe normies can go into normies they'll be, in and out of DD every now and then. Although, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It could just be solid people. Pretty much have solid people so far. But DD ELP itself, this chat, the ELP chat, my OG chat, all normies will be booted and banned immediately upon proof of normality. Bring It On says, isn't U.S. going to default in debt in October? No, they're not going to. U.S. Soviet defaulted and collapsed a couple of days later. They're not going to default. They're not going to default. They do this every single time. They're like, oh my God, everyone, we have to get this really, really big bill that has all these things in here that literally control your life. Like tell us that make us have the ability to control how many miles that you drive in your car. Take your self-defense weapons. Oh, yeah. Have the ability to literally screen and read everything that you do. No privacy. And oh, yeah, by the way, take all your money without question. If you don't sign this bill right now, you're a beta male, you're a cuck, you're blue pill for life. We're going to default. You better sign this bill 1,000 times right now. And that's not all. Or else we're going to default on our debt. We're not going to raise debt ceiling. And what they end up doing, they just trying to get people to be like, oh my God, government, you guys can't shut down. Just Mr. Republicans and Mr. Democrats, even though you guys are all both the exact same guys, just stop arguing. Just sign this bill, please. We don't want the debt. We don't want the. Yeah. They make the people beg the government to take their rights away because when the bill gets passed, YouTube might not like this. In the video game Sims, when the Congress passes that bill, the Sims characters will have more rights taken away than they ever will have in their whole life. And so it's just all theatrics. Because what does it require? When they raise the debt ceiling, all they're doing is, if you think of the debt ceiling as the credit card the United States has, because that's what it is. It's just a credit card. When they raise the debt ceiling, it's equivalent of them calling the card issuer and saying, hello, could you give me a balance increase? Things are getting more expensive. Could you increase my balance? And if you've been a good little boy, they usually increase your balance, right? All they have to do to increase the balance is print more money. So that would be like me saying, all I have to do right now to not kill myself is to not kill myself. But I'm going to trick everyone into thinking that like I'm going to kill myself if I like say that I'm not going to kill myself. I don't know. Maybe that logic was a little bit weird. I don't know. But anyway, they're not going to do it. This is just FUD. Okay. FUD. And if they do, good. Default. I hope that they would. I pray to God that they do. Parabolic, baby. Phil Good says most of them are gone anyway. Gone already. They're going, dude. I know what you're talking about. The companies, they're going. They're going to zero. ELA program sent example for needy recruiter email. What you guys talking about? What y'all talking about over there? I don't know. LOL. I'm doing that on my truck right now. Coolant crack. Yay, plastic intakes. Oh, coolant crack. Yay, plastic intakes. Yeah. Coolant. Yes. Yeah. Sucks, huh? Oh boy, there's a bunch of comments. All right, guys. Hold on, we're gonna start skipping some of these. Shadowy parts dealers. Are you talking about the intake Plinium throttle body. It's like the throttle body is inside of the intake manifold, I believe. Got to be worse than the East-West Coast since the real people left. Yep. Worship the holy stimmy check. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of tech jobs offered. I have college grads on LinkedIn, but I don't have my bachelor's yet. You don't need a bachelor's degree for a tech job, all right? You don't. There's a guy in this chat. There's several people in this chat, but there's a guy. You guys think that Apple is a good company. There's a guy in this chat who is employed in a video game at a place called Apple. I won't say who it is, but got that job without a degree. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3 people right now in the room with me who have all been in tech / development oriented positions and still are and do not have a degree. I do, but didn't need it. Wish I didn't get it. You don't need it. Dude, Dre, right now literally is the time to go out and get a job. They're so desperate. They were already so desperate because tech is literally well, it's deflationary in nature, but not in the job aspect. Tech is the need for it was already high before the great rugging, before the great RESET, before the great PANDEM1C. All right, now it's even worse because everyone's quitting, and we already pointed out the reason why they're quitting. General reason: structure problem in society and the economy, or both. Okay, all right. Candy dealers, yes, I'm in love with the cocoa. Yes. Laugh emoji, dollar internet, food internet, water internet, just internet games. Shadowy Supercoder, COD bro. First, your freedom and the banks. Yes. Society's flawed. Too many people rely on the source for information, relying on certain acronym peoples for hiring. Yeah. Just rely on the acronym people, bro. Cost of living is a lot lower. Internet, cheaper food. No kids in my apartment. CBDC's incoming. Yep. Massive inflation. Yep. No, it doesn't benefit you guys. Glad you guys knew the answer. Nick's Legend says, the funny thing about the inflation issue is that in the short term, we will see deflation in a lot of goods as supply chain issues work themselves out. The funny thing about the inflation issue is that in the short term, we'll see a deflation in a lot of goods as supply chain issues work themselves out. If the supply chain issues do work themselves out. If. A lot of that's not up to whether or not things just happen to work out or not, I think. Food shortage is coming soon. I don't know. X wood is cheap now. Yeah, example. But the Nick, there also was some manipulation with the supply of lumber. There was definitely some manipulation in the circulating supply of lumber from the things that I was looking at. Most people don't understand inflation. Most people don't even know what the Federal Reserve is. They think it's just like, oh, that's the bank. If you ain't bloated, you ain't gloated. Okay, cool. We could talk about guava. Time is it? 9:30. Okay, we got time. Hello, Pablo, says Alex Contazos. Inflation is cutting a pie into 1 million pieces and distributing it proportionally to what people think they are owed, i.e., 1/2 the same as 50. Yes, dude. Yes. God damn it, Rio. Thank you for being fucking smart, man. Yes. Thank you for getting it, bro. This guy gets it. This guy fucking gets it. This guy Fox. Brianna says, I'm making my own stuff, but I have rice stuck in my throat, guys. I'm making my own website. Any tips using cPanel? Like the control panel of where you're hosting your website at? Just drag and drop your code files into the cPanel public folder, bro. Can't AI replace HR? Yeah, but I mean, your employment smart contract has been breached. 25 good boy tokens have been deducted from your wallet. You guys, you want to know how I feel about that? This is why, you shouldn't, if you're already large enough where you have HR, this shouldn't be you done fucked up already. You done, if you're that large to where you need HR because you can't sort things out yourself, you done goofed. All right. This is what I think about AI handling HR. Let's see. Let's get this guy. I don't want to show you the whole thing, guys, because it's kind of it's kind of a depressing video to watch. But whoever made this video, they get it. That's for sure. They get it. Hold on one second. Mademoiselle. Actually, I should leave this comment on the screen for people. If people happen to hop in and see what be like, what is this guy talking about? All right, guys, here you go.
You will own nothing.
All right, guys, enjoy. This is what I think about
And
this
you
comment, right?
will be happy.
Is the sound not playing? Hold on, guys. You can hear the sound in there? Okay. I just can't hear it on the computer. Okay.
Warning. Your weekly rental smart contract will automatically execute in 72 hours. Please ensure that your personal wallet is appropriately funded. Your scheduled Uber ride share will arrive in 10 minutes.
Would you guys like some new meat? I know I would love some new meat. You know what, guys, too? You know what? Let me pause this for a second. Make my point. You know what, guys? If you watch this video, this video should give you some reason as to why people are rugging being wages, okay? Without me having to explain it to you guys, all right? So here, go on. Continue. We'll continue.
Now arriving at your destination.
我们现在到达您的目的地。
Look at that diverse, inclusive picture. Anybody out there who's a wagey starting to relate or resonate with this video yet? If not, just wait.
Good morning. Waging number 22177? New transfer?
Yes.
Good. Look up. So what do you think of your new work pod? Pretty nice, right?
Yeah. It's a bit cramped though.
Oof. That's bad speak. I'll let you sort that out. See you at the mandatory Shibuya roll call dance later today.
Yikes. You have violated your employment
Oof.
smart contract. Replaying offending speech.
It's a bit cramped though.
This statement is in direct contradiction with the verified Snopes fact
Uh-oh.
that OpenOffice 2.0 work pods are comfortably spacious, combining the safety of closed cubicles with the communal spirit of OpenOffice environments. You have been deducted 20 good boy tokens
Oh no,
from
your
your
good boy
weekly
tokens.
income.
They're going to take them.
Warning.
The AI is coming for your good boy
Projected weekly
tokens.
income is insufficient to meet your weekly rental payment. Please ensure that your wallet is appropriately funded within
Look
the
how happy
next
this guy is.
68 hours.
This is my favorite part,
Oh
guys.
mein Gott. I qualmed.
So that's how I feel about AI being HR. Look, you shouldn't need HR. Like I know that's probably a very broad statement to make, but my opinion is if you've grown so big to where you can't, let's just say you still believe that you need to have 15 different middle management managers. If them and then the people in between can't manage that situation, think things might be a little too centralized, if you ask me. T-Man Scott says, my company's full Karens. Everyone says, I can, but it's not 100% reliable. Not so, okay. I've yet to learn PHP. Learning Luna right now. You will learn PHP, Rillian. Trust me, because I need you to. Just learn to code, bro. Just learn to code, bro. I should get a neon sign, guys, that says just learn to code. Lua, I only know it from blah, blah, blah. Maxine says, DD 1 year pass, the steal of an offer. Says a FANG engineer, 2001. Very true. Multiple FANG engineers. All right. Multiple FANG engineers in this chat will tell you that it's worth the money. Okay. Nick's Legend says Luna is an incredibly good way to add scripting capabilities for some users. Okay. Quite. Spent a lot of time learning Vim script. You'd be good friends with Aurelian. Aurelian, go hang out with this guy, Aurelian. You guys can use Vim all day together. Some shady boot camps are free, but they want a percentage of your salary. Go Google search Reviture software. That would be like absolute last case scenario. And if you don't have the ability to like figure this stuff out on your own, or I don't know, get with someone like us. I mean, I think we're the only people that exist that I know that are like this. But hey, New Horizons says scripting, blah 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 blah. Okay, MLD for president, says Alex. Yes. God, let's look at these comments. MLD for president. Yes. Nothing happened last time they defunded the government and couldn't agree on the raised debt ceiling limit. Yeah. Also, government's trying to look into your bank account for purchases over $600. Yep. No, it's not just that too. It's also if you have a balance of $600 over, they're supposed to. They want to monitor all transactions. Which, like, let's just be honest, guys. We act like they don't already have the ability to do that. So, I mean, you guys go look up Project Prism, PRISM, on Google. It's actually on Wikipedia, although I wouldn't really trust Wikipedia these days. But they have the ability to see everything already for quite some time now. It's just making that into a law. It makes it to where it's like, now it's okay for us to tell you guys we're doing it to scare you guys. At the default, it would be a great time once the dust settles. Yeah, World 3.0, Harry. It's coming either with the default anyway or not. Apple. Pff. Hey, listen, dude. Listen, man. When I was growing up, I'm an Apple fanboy. All right, I'm an Apple fanboy. I love Apple products. Lately, their innovation has been a little like, Although I do like the M1 chips, pretty fucking rad. I'm excited to see what they do with the next one. But Apple used to be a based company, right? Steve Jobs is sitting over there rolling in his fucking grave. Steve Jobs was based. Steve Jobs was not W0KE, okay? Steve Jobs wasn't trying to make his company like... Steve Jobs was fucking based, okay? If you ever knew anything about the guy, one could say in a conspiracy theory that maybe they got rid of him for a reason. But lately, like, not so much. And that goes with all these legacy companies. But there was a time, dude, where, and even still today, up to like 2 years ago, maybe like 2 years, if you would have told me like, hey, I'm going to let you work for Apple, I would be like, fucking sign me up, lock me in a cage. Literally don't give a shit. It's like, I cannot pass on this fucking opportunity to work for this amazing company. But I wouldn't want to work for any company nowadays anymore, to be honest with you. Any of these big ones for sure. Cause like, yeah, we're seeing people leave for a reason. Degrees are old world think, y'all. Yeah, degrees exist from world 1.5, not even 2.0. Or does it need to apply to more places? Yes. The great stonkening. Inflation is like taking the limit of the US dollar as it approaches zero. Yes. So I can just contact the recruiters for a job? No. That's not what you do. All right. Do you know how to code yet? And do you have proof that you can code? I wouldn't be contacting recruiters. I mean, I would, but that wouldn't be like my first option. So look, dude, if you want to sign up for the year pass, sign up for a course, you'll learn some of it. Or you want to go to my website, if you want to just talk to me for an hour, because I'm about to change it to 45 minutes because I don't have time anymore. But if you want to talk to me about it for an hour, you can get a consultation relatively cheap, and I'll explain it to you the best that I can. if I can go do that. But I also have a YouTube video called what is that video called? It was a Project Freedom podcast video from some time ago. Like let me see. Let's see. Become a dev from A to Z. Someone asked me to make that video. It's episode number 43. You can go watch that one. All right. Should give you some help. Sam says a spike in price of many commodities as a result of price fixing and scalping as a result of the centralization like competition. Yeah. So there is no competition. And because there's no competition, these people don't have to do anything or produce anything anymore, which is a net negative for society. Okay. World 3.0 fixes this. All right. And when I finish these comments, we're going to get into the rest of that. I dropped out last year. Now I have a job as a software engineer. All right. So there we go, guys, in the chat. Someone right here. You don't need a bachelor's. You just need projects and skills. Yep. So now literally have like, I don't know, there's at least 10 people, combination of people in the room with me right now in the chat that the software engineers that degree. The Green New Deal. Oh my God, what the fuck is this? DM that to me on Telegram, Nick, if you can. FAGMAN. Is it old? My God, that's hilarious. Yeah, the Fang. What the F am I watching, LMAO? I hope you enjoyed that, Joe. That's life these days for some people. Bring it on. Cool. I'm only college, blah, blah, blah. Reminds me of life as a blank prior to the pandemonium. Yeah, Nick, I bet it does. Because I know you personally. I bet it does, Nick. I know you're much happier now. Tell me this is all a dream. Funny vid ELP. Thank you. Only had 3 projects on my resume. I can email examples if you want. Nonstop Dre. Schwab. Problem is a lot of companies, a lot of corporate law requires HR idiots. Yeah, that's true. It's because we have all this red tape, right? All this red tape. Okay. Why do we have all this red tape? I don't know. You know what else too, guys? You know what else too? I forgot about this too. I should mention this as well. I also have a video that's rather old on my YouTube channel. Let me see. Let me see, guys. Let me see. I have this video too that might help you with kind of understanding part of the process that you go to. So if you go to, well, let's find it, guys. Let's find it. Let's see. If you go down here, videos, you go to videos and you look at this, there's a thumbnail is Karen. All right, this one right here. Karen from HR, and the title is Software Engineer Interview. It's just a game. This would also help you get through that first barrier as well. Not 90% of the time, this would probably be the case. This video would help you with that first step, but it might not every single time, but that'll be helpful for you to watch too. So if you can watch that, hopefully that'll help you out. All right, where are we leaving off at? Good grief. The irony. Watch the 1984 Apple commercial. Oh my God, the irony. Man, yeah, it would be. If it's a 1984 if it's an Apple commercial made about the book 1984, I'm assuming that would be ironic. I should watch that. Alex says every CEO Apple has had, besides Jobs, has not been great. Right? They can't beat him, dude. You can't beat the best ever that ever existed at something. So like you just can't. They're not going to have another guy who's going to be as good. And unless they hire me, which I would turn that job down and say sorry, no. But bring it on. Did your job make you the root beer float to work? Recruiters contact me. I don't crowd talk recruiters. Yep, me too. The guys in developer direction have seen a substantial amount of proof on that. So we're not lying. It's true. Sign up. Do it now. This is Patricio. Do it now. Round J says, I just signed up for RE Code. I'm planning to be in tech within a year. Let me see. Did you? I have to see. Let's see. I don't know. Ryan Malcolm says, how do I log in for webinars? Start tomorrow. Ryan, if that's you, just email me. Check your emails. You should have gotten a response. I've had a problem with me getting PayPal information from some of you guys for the last 10 people that signed up. So I had to go through some back alleyway to do that. But if I missed you, I'll double check after the stream. I'll send it to you if not. But Ronald J, you can definitely do that within a year, dude, for sure. For sure. Chad move. Yes. All right, guys. So let's talk about something else real quick. I want to show you guys. All right. And I'm not going to do any explain. I'm going to show this video. This is like a, this is a 5-minute YouTube video. All right. And I know you guys attention spans are running. So just watch it. Okay, guys, just watch it. Cause I can do the explaining after, and I can let maybe you guys watching this video, maybe you guys can put some pieces together in your head. This video was brought to my attention. This video was brought to my attention last night from a friend of mine, guy in the chat, Self-Taught Hustle. And it's very prevalent to something that all of us guys, the Miami crew, are doing right now. But yeah, so maybe watching this, guys, I can explain after, but let me just preface my final explanation with this video. Okay, guys, so here, go ahead, enjoy. By the way, the guy that talks in here is kind of like got a nasally voice, so you know.
Greetings, students, and welcome to another edition of Mr. Zoller's Social Studies podcast. Now, today we are going to be talking about medieval guilds. We know that early on in the medieval times that everything was based around those feudal manors, right, and manorialism. Well, what we're going to see happen, though, as we move forward, once we get to the Crusades, we know that things are going to change. We're going to move away from manorialism. Manorialism is that idea of self-sufficient manors, right? Well, now we're moving into a period of trade. We see that trade rekindled. And so what we start to see happening are goods flowing into Europe now for the first time. They're coming in to Europe from the Middle East after the Crusades. They're heading up from the Vikings. They're moving into trade areas like Flanders, the Hanseatic League. And so for the first time in a long time, we actually see trade goods that are available throughout Europe. Well, as these trade goods start to come in, as these goods start to be available, as people start to flock to towns as a result of this influence of trades, what we start to see develop are these guilds, these associations and groups of artisans and craftsmen who are going to group themselves together, join together for their economic benefit. So this might be a group of weavers, a group of blacksmiths, a group of shoemakers, something like that. What they're going to try to do is control all of the trade in a given town. So like, for example, all of the bakers in a certain town might all be members of the Bakers Guild. And the idea is that allows them to set the certain rules like for things like wages, hours, and working conditions. They can be in control of that. The other thing that allows them to do is to make sure that nobody else is going to be able to come in and do that job unless they speak with the guild, unless they pay them some sort of fee in order to come in and participate in the economic system in that particular area. The other thing, though, that guilds do is they're going to offer a support group for these merchants. Now that people have moved outside of the manors, that they're not just relying on the feudal lords, they're going to have to rely on each other for things like assistance. It might be something like loans. And an example might be that if a guild member dies, the guild would step in and they would take care of the widow or take care of the children in that particular instance. The other thing that guilds are going to do, though, is they're going to take control of training future guild members. And so what's going to happen is this is going to start at the very beginning, at a very young age, when a parent would bring their child into a member of that guild, and they want that child to learn that new trade. They want them to become a weaver or a blacksmith, something like that. And so they bring their child in, and initially what happens is they actually are going to pay this guild member in order to house and feed this child. And you notice that it actually on the sheet, by the way, sorry, ladies, it says boy. And that's really what we're talking about in this situation here. That boy is going to come in. He's going to live in the master's house. He's going to be considered an apprentice. But that apprentice is really working for the master. And the parents are paying for that child to be in there. And that's going to last for a period of about 9 years. But over time, the child is going to be learning the trade. They're going to be learning what needs to happen little by little over the course of their upbringing. And then eventually what happens is they're going to be promoted to the job of journeyman. Once they become a journeyman, then they actually are going to receive wages. They're going to be paid for the work that they're doing because now they are sufficiently good at this trade that they are actually adding to the production that this particular member of the guild is able to come up with. But while this person is working and while they're receiving wages, they're also working on their masterpiece. And the idea is Once they have created a masterpiece, they have demonstrated now that they are worthy of being a member of the guild in their own right. And so what'll happen is then they would be allowed to go out and open up their own shop and run their own craft as well during the town and become a member of the guild. And then this cycle will just repeat again in the future. That's how these guilds were structured, and they're going to become an important part of the economic system during medieval times. That's all for our podcast for today.
Wow, muted. Yeah. So yeah, guys, wanted to preface what I was going to say with that. Max says, "Hell, these I don't know. These guilds sound like a lot like labor unions to me." Yeah, obviously you don't want something to be a labor union, right? And again, this isn't the medieval time, so I think things would be a little bit different. But I just wanted to preface that to you guys to show you guys that things in history like this have happened before, right? It's kind of like they had some kind of flaws in their system, and they ended up moving to a more decentralized method of, yes, guys, thank you. I know no audio, and more decentralized method of kind of like an economy. Okay. But it's not going to be, I don't think a labor union would definitely like be, we don't need a labor union. Nick's Legends, this is totally like a developer hegemony, LOL. Yeah. You should go to the Whiterun and talk to the companions about joining their guild. Then work your way into the inner circle and have a howling good time. Whoo! Except there is so much, says Alex, there's so much freedom in being a coder. You can do so many different projects rather than being a blacksmith. And I don't think this is going to go just for like development too, but like, no sound, no audio, nothing new under the sun. Aurelian, this guy gets it. He gets it. Okay. So what that shows us is that that's happened before. And I think, look, listen, obviously we can't have something like a labor union, right? We don't want like a union that just that allow, like, we don't, the point of this ideally would be, maybe it does involve to a labor union. I don't know. But the idea behind it is that people who were previously accustomed to being a part of a centralized unit of power that divided up work between people based off of like somebody up at the top who may or may not even have enough skills to do any of the things that he's delegating people to do, or other beneficial skills that would put him there, may or may not have just been put there because they're close to a money printer, or other reasons. That these people have moved to a more decentralized structure, and it's kind of like you work your way up kind of thing, and it's merit-based society. So, excuse me, guys. If one of these people in this guild were to collapse, or two or three, it's not so centralized that everything would just go underneath, right? That's a benefit right there. But also the benefit to where you are responsible yourself for doing good. But if so the more you work, the harder you can work, the more benefit you are going to get out of it specifically. But if you just wanted to maybe chill for a little bit, you'd have a small percentage support from the guild itself. And the guild will give you support on the way there too, and bring up the speed. So there is a tiny bit of padding added in, but not so much so to where you have something that evolves into a welfare state. Okay. And then obviously, you can be just removed from these guilds. So this is possibly something that World 3.0 could look like. Okay. The decentralization of a lot of these old entities, old powers, not producing much of anything, and potentially moving on to something similar to things we've done in our past, but also something like we've never seen before. Okay. a guild of Shadowbreak Supercoders. That was a Fighters Guild Skyrim reference I made. Yes, Matt, I know. My coding level is above my smithing level for sure. Yeah. Victor V says, which one of your webinars is better, the Art of Code or the Complete Year Pass? I'm totally new to coding. Oh, God. I would say go back sometime in the stream and rewatch it. But, all right, we'll do this one more time. One more time for you guys. One more time. All right. So, all right. This is the 1 year pass. Let me actually make this bigger. This is the 1 year pass. All right. These guys, I know everyone's always like, my prices are gonna go up. The prices have to go up because there's just too much people and there's too much work to do. And I've been told by many people that the prices are already like way too cheap. And I'm not going to be raising them anywhere near to the price that people would tell me they should be raised to, but I know that they need to go up for my sake. But you're going to have some time before they do. But it's going to go up in the near future. But so for a whole year, for basically $1,200, all right, you get access to everything, every single course of the year, right? The entire network, which keep in mind, people pay for this service, not just people who just want to get a job. People that are already working in IT and tech and as software engineers pay for this service because you get the networking benefit alone. If that makes sense to you guys, wink, wink, the networking benefit alone is worth it. But on top of that, you get access to everything. And that means every single course. All right. And we have what we call meta webinars in between these courses. I don't want to I won't explain again all the information, what meta webinars are. If you want to know, just reverse this video for the last like 2 people that asked the same question. Sorry, I'm not trying to poop on you for asking the same question. It's just that I'm late to something and I need to go. So I just didn't want to have to explain this again, but it's okay. I'll explain it to you. It's no big deal. I'm just going to have to, Victor, I'm going to have to punch you in a video game. Just kidding, bro. But so for $1,200, all right, for everything, all right. But if you just get a single course, which is now about $800, so 800 times 4 is like what? You do the math. It's $1,200 is a lot cheaper. But for people who don't have a whole lot of money, we have this web development level 1 course, all right, $97. This is probably going to go up a little bit too, the price, but I mean, it's good. To me right now, it's a good price for like people who like just can't afford anything and literally don't have anywhere to start. I don't want to have a barrier so high that nobody can get any benefit from us. But what this is the most previous web development level 1 course that we did, recorded and edited and compressed into 9 hours. All right. If you do this, you should be able to walk away with the ability to make a very basic vanilla website with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, and you should learn some fundamentals of programming as well, and just about the internet. But this is going to be replaced the next time we do a web dev level 1 course. This will be redone again as well. Every time we make a new iteration, it goes on and on and on. It gets better. But if you don't have room to start, I mean, if you absolutely can't afford anything, I would do this. All right, best bang for your buck is going to be the 1 year pass. All right, because you just literally get access to everything. So, and if you just want to do a course because maybe you don't, you just want to just one course particular, like tickles your fancy, then just grab the course. But look, the doors are supposed to close on this yesterday. I've had a couple people message me and ask me if they can still sign up because the first webinar doesn't start until tomorrow. I mean, if you do still want to sign up, you can message me about it. I shouldn't be doing that because it's like not what it's me going against what I'm saying. What me telling you guys to close at a certain time. I don't know. I just feel wrong doing that. But if you really want to, especially if you're someone I know, let me know. You can for sure sign up. But that's what. I hope that answered your question, Victor. Aurelian says neo-feudalism is the future, in my opinion. We'll see. Let's see. Self-taught hustle seems to agree with you, except in the exponential age. Victor says, thank you, man. Sorry, I just joined the stream too late. No, dude, it's all good. It's all good, man. I was just joking about punching you in the face in a video game. I would never do that. I love you, bro. Don't forget, learn Git. Yes, need to learn Git. Just get access to everything. Hashtag just get access to everything. Yes. All right, guys. World 3.0. Okay. And I'd like to talk about this more also. I think there's more that could be discussed here. I think we just took a little, it's my fault, guys. I took a little bit too much time reading comments and answering questions. So we'll probably talk about this probably in another episode for sure. Like, we just have to. There's just too much to talk about. But I have to go, guys. I have to rug you guys. I love you all. If you've been watching this content and you appreciate it and you appreciate me, please subscribe. Because every time 3 people subscribe, YouTube will unsubscribe those exact same 3 people. And then I'll see that they resubscribe. So I don't know. I've heard this happen to all kinds of channels all the time. But also, please like the video if you care about my poor little soul. And if you have an idea of something you want me to do a podcast on, you can email me at josh@eliteprogram.com and or josh@developerdirection.com and or josh@guavalabs.io. And give me an idea of something that you think you want me to talk about on the stream. As long as it's not absolutely asinine, I will consider it. And again, for the second time, I love you guys. I'm